Hi Leo, welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for July of 2020. We've got Mercury, Venus, and Mars for you this month as usual, and a couple of lunations, including a lunar eclipse. But let's start with Mercury. I'm Jamie Kill Miller, and Julia is going to start you off. Hey, Julia.
Hey guys. Hi Leo, how are you? I'm Julia Mikas. And first I'll begin with Mercury. Mercury begins this month retrograde, as it was retrograde last month too. And this is going to correlate with your 12th house. Now the 12th house is a house of seclusion, and Mercury is the planet of thinking and communication. So you may be doing your best thinking on your own this month. Now, the 12th house is also known traditionally as the house of self-undoing, and Mercury is the planet of communication. So if you try to maybe be deceptive in your communications with other people, it could end up blowing up in your face a little bit too. So just try to make sure that you're communicating as faithfully as possible. Then on July 12th, Mercury goes direct, so that's going to make this area of life a lot smoother. And Venus is direct all month, and she's in the sign of Gemini, which correlates with your 11th house of groups. So Venus is a very social planet. So as she transits the 11th house, it means you're going to really want to connect with all of your buddies and all of the groups that you really identify with. So this could be a time for either going out, seeing friends in the park, or doing lots of group FaceTimes. If you have a partner, then you can really kind of feel like they're your pal, like they're your best friend this month, which is a really great feeling to have in a relationship. Then Mars is also in the sign of Aries, which correlates with your 9th house all month. The 9th house is the house of exploration. It's the house of adventure. And Mars is where we put our energy. So the problem with this transit is you could be feeling so stir crazy, like you just want to go travel, like you want to go do something new. And, you know, depending on where you are and what your particular context is, that might be more achievable than you know, it may or may not be achievable, but you'll definitely be feeling very, very stir crazy this month.
There are a couple of moons coming up. One of them is a lunar eclipse, which is happening on the 4th of July. Right here, July 4. And so this one places the moon in, let me just move that moon along here, the moon in Capricorn in your 6th house, opposite the sun in Cancer in your 12th house. And this one falls on our nation's birthday, the United States birthday. And so I think it's going to bring up a lot of strong feelings, possibly centered around themes of patriotism. And in your situation with this moon, and you know, lunar eclipses they stir up a lot of feelings in general. And then you got to ask yourself, well, what house in my chart does that fall in? And the 6th house is the house of health, work, service, and personal organization. So you might find that emotions are very stirred up on the job. You have to look at your shadow in that place, and you have to manage all those feelings. Or there may be a lot of feelings stirred up in the arena of health for you. And so this would be a really important time to shore up your health. We have made a video about that eclipse. It's called We Are All Patriots, and you can find it in the July News playlist on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology. And then later in the month, there is going to be a new moon. And this is going to not feel quite as intense, thank goodness. We've just had 3 eclipses in a row at 2-week intervals throughout June and into July, and it's been pretty intense. But by the time this new moon comes along, things are really starting to ease out again. So this falls in your 12th house, and this is a house of solitude. And Julia mentioned this house when she talked about Mercury retrograde here, and this moon would really add to those themes of needing to kind of go off by yourself for a time. Maybe look inward, maybe examine the spiritual underpinnings or beliefs in your life that you know, that are there underneath everything and contextualizing everything. And new moons are a good time for new beginnings. So this could be a time when you draw on that wellspring of deep spiritual understanding to make a new start. So if you do find yourself wanting to examine yourself from that broader more spiritual perspective, there couldn't be a better thing to do than get a natal and transit reading from one of the ladies of Pandora Astrology. You can find that on our services page, pandoraastrology.com/services. And until next month, Leo, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.